Beside this one, to every mother, sister, girlfriend, daughter, or wife, Rastafari no partial, we burn out all inequality and strife. Love dynasty and Tinny, giving thanks for life. Yo.
So yeah, greetings and blessings, our followers. My name is Yura, and today on the other side of my phone line is a big and well-established artist in the dubstep community and the sound system culture. A singer, a chanter, selector, itector, Ras Tinny. Greetings, sir. How are you?
Greetings, brethren. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good. And normally today I'll be in the field, so today I had a lot of grass to cut. So I'm just back from cutting the grass.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So before we start with all the questions, can you quickly introduce to our followers who is Ras Tinny?
Who's Ras Tinny? Okay. So, well, simply, I am actually a trained a secondary school teacher, and later on I got interested in organic farming, and I went to study organic farming for a little bit, and when I finished, well, me and the girlfriend went to get a piece of land, and we tried to have a little tree nursery and grow trees and grow our own vegetables, and that's what I am actually. That's what I do most of the time. But beside that, I like to write lyrics as well, and I like to do vocals on music, on rhythms as well. So, and I like to play music as well. So I play a little bit of music as a DJ, and I MC for myself. And but most of the times I'll be MCing with my brethren from the Steppers Records family, and Alpha and Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I need to ask you, where did you come up with your name, Ras Tinny?
Ras Tinny. Ras Tinny is just short for Martin, because my name is Martin. So people used to call me Tinny before, and then it just became Ras Tinny.
So what really inspired you to do music? When did you realize that this is your a thing you want to do?
To be honest with you, I only started recording music very recently. My whole life I haven't done too much with music other than playing music, as you know, playing music, some DJing sometimes. But mostly I have played music, and I haven't really made any music. But I always like to write. Writing is my hobby, and I started writing very, very early, writing lyrics and poetry or articles, things that I'm interested in. So I've always written, but I've never really did vocals. And I started doing vocals really because I got inspired by a friend of mine called Cian Finn. Cian Finn is a big Irish artist, a vocalist, and he basically got me into dub music because I actually didn't know that genre even existed until I came to Ireland. So one day I met Cian on the street in Ireland, and we became friends. And he introduced me to all this music, and he was a really good singer. And I used to always write, so I used to always ask him, "Oh, would you sing this? Would you sing that?" And he would tell me, "Why don't you sing it yourself?" And I tell him, "Oh no, I can't sing. But he kept on always encouraging me to do vocals myself, and he actually got me into this. So I always owe a really great debt to Cian Finn, and also I must say to my friends around me that have always supported me. My girlfriend has bought my first mic for me and my first sound card. and then I had no excuse. I had to start. Really recording myself. So and basically I started around maybe 2008 doing that, and around 2013 my first first one of my first song got released by Steppers Records. Before that, I did a little bit of work with also with other friends of mine here in Dublin, Dub Investigation, and yeah. So that's where it's coming from. It's actually all down to a friend of mine called Kian Finn.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, you actually live with Kian Finn. For any followers who maybe don't know, it's also a very established artist who did live shows with Matt Professor, Ration Stepa, Mungus Hi-Fi, basically everybody that means something in this culture.
Yes.
And also with
yes.
another quite popular, very popular artist, Radical Guru. You live together.
Yes.
Under the same roof.
Yes. No, we didn't live in the same room, but we lived in the same city.
Roof. Sorry, yeah.
We didn't live under the same roof, but we lived in the same city.
Oh.
So we all lived in a little city called Cork. It was a tiny little city. So we practically lived under each other's roof. But we lived all in Cork City, in the south of Ireland, and we were all at the same time, and we all didn't know each other. So we were all living in this city, but we didn't know each other. And slowly but surely, I got to know Kian, and then I got to know Manji and Radical Guru, and then I started hanging out with them. And then I said to Kian, "Oh, you have to meet Radical Guru. He's a producer." And later on, Radical Guru and Kian met, and then we all became friends, and we're still friends till the day of today.
Good to hear that. Yeah, me see you also do a lot of songs together with them. But there's a question
Yes.
I think you get asked quite a lot of times, and we can't go past it. But how did all this Alpha Omega and Dub Dynasty connection happen? That's a big thing. How did that happen?
Yes, that was basically pure luck, but also not luck. It was also down to Kian Finn. So basically, Kian did an album together with Alpha Stepa and Radical Guru. And he did a song with them, and they were releasing that in Ireland. So they came to Ireland for a tour, and I used to live in Dublin at that time. And when I'm in Dublin and Kian is in Dublin, he'd always come and visit me and always cook some food or just hang out. So like then he came to my house as well in Dublin, and he brought Alpha Stepa with him, and so that's where I got to meet Ben, we've been friends since then. It's just one friend linking another friend up, and that's how it's been going. So it's pure luck, but it's also really nice about friendship. That friendship is about, and that this music is really, it's about the music, but it's also about friendship and building relationships and getting to know other people. And these friendships stay with you for the rest of your life. And without this music, you won't have those friendships. So in a way, it's also kind of the providence of music to kind of link people up and link brethren and sisters up in one. Yeah.
True, that's one of the nicest things about music, the community.
Isn't it?
And, well, not to go too much into details about Dub Dynasty, because then in 2013, your first vinyl was released, and I love the title, Monsoon Come.
Monsoon Come.
But, going back to you a bit, listening to your lyrics, it's really obvious you're passionate about environmental and social issues. I presume you get that asked a lot, but where did your inspiration comes from? Why these topics?
These topics. Probably it is because I was born in Suriname. So I was born in Suriname. Suriname is a small country on the north coast of South America, and most of the country is basically part of the Amazon forest. It's the whole, maybe 90% of the country is virgin rainforest. So growing up, my father was always, since I know myself, he was always into alternative medicine, and he was always into organic food, and he was always into planting your own food, and he was also always into those kind of things. So I kind of got that from my parents. And then when I set my vow to be a Rastaman, my vow or my promise was a really simple one that I learned from my elders, and that was to uplift the poor and protect the environment. That was just my two things that I vowed to do. So one is to uplift the poor, and the second one is to protect the environment. So basically, from my trot in Rastafari, and according to my vocation, that's the only two things I'm supposed to do in this life, and that is what I try to do. So I do it in the music, and I do it in everything I do. Basically, that is the two things that probably rule my life. It's the environment and social issues. Yeah. So that is the way the inspiration comes actually from my parents and my upbringing and where I came from. But it is also a big part of my life as a Rastaman.
Well, I hope more people would have same thoughts as you, because these are two really important things that you just said. We need to protect the environment and the poor. But you also mentioned...
And care for each other, you know?
Yeah, true. You also mentioned Rastafari, as a big Rasta yourself. Did you grow up in a Rastafari teachings, or did that come later in your life?
No, it came much later in my life. I grew up in a very strict Christian family. It was really, really strict, and so I lived basically half my life believing in a certain believing in God and believing in different things that I suddenly came to know are not true. So I went to college, and when I went to college and I started studying in college, I remember I had to do a course about the Palestine conflict. We did a course in the Palestine conflict in university, and I went into the course thinking, oh, that'd be easy, because I've read the Bible from the beginning to the end a couple of times. I kind of know the whole biblical narrative of the conflict, so it should be really easy for me. And then I went to, but I had to write a research, and it's scientific work, so I had to back that all up with evidence. And as I went to look for my evidence, I just slowly but surely came to find out that most of what I thought was true wasn't true at all. So so then I got into a really deep depression, because I actually didn't know who I was anymore, because my whole identity as a person was built around this Christian idea. But at the same time, when I was growing up, I also had a lot of friends of mine that were Rastafari, and there was always a Rastafari elder that had spoken to me about Rastafari, and that was since I was in secondary school, and he actually told me a few really important lessons, and and kind of looking forward to those lessons, I kind of was able to kind of create for myself, a new purpose in this life, and that was the purpose of within the context of Rastafari. So that purpose was in the context of and a new identity. So anybody who starts with Rastafari, you know, it starts. You start off with a lot about identity because we all, as human beings, try to identify with others and also try to separate ourselves from others. So the same was with me, like every other human being. As a young man growing up, I really definitely identified with the message of Rastafari, but I also identified um, with the point of having a cause of in your life as a human being, having a purpose and saying the vows of Rastafari. For me, it was really about the vows of Rastafari, not as a religion, but as a vocation, a dedication of life and time and effort to a certain purpose.
Sin. Uh, there's also one project I need to ask you about, Leaving Babylon.
Huh.
It's a really good cause and everything. I was wondering if you could shortly tell our followers what is about Leaving Babylon and project you're involved with.
I'm happy you asked that because yeah, what is leaving Babylon? Leaving Babylon is just an idea. It is an idea. Most of us, um, whether we're in the scene of dub music or not, we realize that the way the world is run today is not really. It's not really going the right way. A lot of us can see the symptoms in terms of climate change and social-economic strife between people, also strife between nations, wars, and all of that. So we see all of that, and the question is now, how to can we as individuals make a change to this world? Um,
Huh?
if I have to give you the answer, I would say I don't know. Um, I I don't know, and probably I don't care either. Um, leaving Babylon is not about trying to save the world. It's about trying to live your life within this world as a human being in dignity, and that means that to the tradition in Rastafari, we say you leave Babylon. And what is Babylon? Babylon is maybe if we accept that Babylon is the system, this conglomerate of different systems in which we live. Um, we know that it is not good, but the problem is what is the alternative? Um, just to know that it's not good, it's not good enough. There must be an alternative, and if there is going to be any change, we need to know where what change we want to have. We know that we all want things to change, but what do we want to change? What are we ready to sacrifice? Now, that is a question that everybody has to answer themselves. I cannot answer it for anybody but for myself.
True.
And that is what Leaving Babylon is. Leaving Babylon is that we all, as individuals, make a decision that we are no longer going to support this system, and we're going to at least try to find out what could be better. Not that we will find out what, but just the act of trying to find out to make this better. I think that is the purpose of us as human beings, to try to make things better. We fail maybe 99% of the time, and that is okay. none of us is perfect, but we try. And in the end, when we say goodbye and when we have to leave this earth, we can look into a mirror and we can say, I tried, I did my best, I can go now.
Word. I couldn't agree more. On that note, is this somehow connected to your decision to delete all your social media accounts? I mean, we kind of live in a world where they say if you're not on Facebook, you don't even exist. So that's kind of bold move you made, but...
No. I actually really enjoyed my time on Facebook. I like my hobby is writing. I write as a hobby, and I found when I was on Facebook, I could write and I could, write about the things that I find interesting, and I had like really nice discussions and arguments with people, and I really enjoyed that. But at the same time, I was also really busy. I had other things that I had to do as well, and Facebook was taking an awful lot of time from me. Now, at a certain point, I was writing for years. I've been writing on Facebook, and in the end, I was reading so much nonsense, and I wasn't like people really engaged with the argument. It was like, people trying to make, score points and or that kind of thing. And then I was not interested for me anymore, because for me it's interesting when we have an argument, when we can, tease something out, look at a problem and be critical about each other's views, and I like that. I love an argument. But when it descends to just name calling and that kind of thing, then the fun is away from me. Then it becomes almost like a burden. And I also have like mental health problems, so I can get really obsessed by these things. Like my mind could get really obsessed by it. So then I'd waste days just writing shite on the internet, So eventually, I said to myself, I really don't have the time for it anymore. So I said I won't be. No, I'm still on Facebook, but I just not as Ras Tinny anymore on Facebook. So I try to grow trees, and I have a website about my garden, a Facebook page about my garden, and people can still contact me there on that. But it's more from my garden. It's not really music related. I don't do any much music related stuff on it.
Nice. So for one of the last things, I really want to ask you, what can we expect from Ras Tinny in future? Is there any new project you can share with us?
Yes. I have never really released an album, but I've released a lot of tunes on other people's albums, like singles and things. I don't think I don't think I will ever make an album, but I will keep on writing tunes. Like I just, if people send me music, I listen to it, and sometimes I get inspired to write lyrics, and I write lyrics and I record them, and if people like them, they release it, and if they don't like it, they don't release it. Like a lot of stuff I write never gets released, because it's not good enough. But some of it is good enough, and people release it. So I give thanks for that.
Well, a lot of it's good enough.
So I think Alpha and Omega is doing a new album now, so look out for that. Definitely, Alpha and Omega is doing a new album. The Dub Dynasty album is almost finished. So Ben is doing that. So there might be some work of me on that as well. So here and there, my brethren from Belgium, I have a lot of friends in Belgium, and my brethren Angelo Dello from Forward Fever, he releases a lot of singles as well, and I do work with him a lot as well. So I have a few friends that I work with a lot. So Benji and Christine from Alpha and Omega, and and Delhi from Forward Fever. Those people I've been working with most. Yeah, most. But here and there, people ask me to write, record dub plates and things. So I do that as well. So once in a while, they say, okay, no, we'll release this and then it will come out as well. So yeah, there's a few things coming out, but definitely look out for Forward Fever. They have a tune of mine coming out. Alpha and Omega has a whole album coming out, and Dub Dynasty has a whole album coming out. And I have probably a little bit of contribution there as well. So if you look out for that. Before I left, I want to also give thanks for all the people that have been listening to my music for all these years. I never expected that anybody would listen to my music. So I'm really grateful, really, really grateful that people have listened to my music. People have paid me to play gigs, and they bought my music. And without of that, a lot of what I have now in life would not be possible. So I'm really, really grateful. And if I can use this opportunity to just give thanks to everybody who has supported me over the years and who still supports me, although I'm not on Facebook as Ras Tinny anymore, but still people link up with me. I give thanks to each and every one of you. Thank you, and thank you as well for this interview, for the link up. I give thanks for everything.
Respect. Well,
yeah.
Ras, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome, brother.
Our time has passed, so
it's gone, is it?
I hope one day we can continue on part 2 of this interview.
Yes, me too.
It's a football fan.